How's everyone doing tonight? I hope you all are.
Wonderful.
Almost didn't work that time. So we have a lot of news tonight. In fact, I'm just going to get right into it. I hope you guys are staying healthy, staying clean, practicing good hygiene. For those of you guys who don't do that on a regular basis, now is the time to start. Because of the coronavirus, we all know that. And that being said, UFC Fight Night 170 / UFC on ESPN Plus 28 / UFC Brasilia has been shut down to the public this weekend. So I'm actually going to run through my picks as fast as possible. And then I'm going to play the phone song. We're going to bring Moss in here to talk to you guys. We're going to open up the phone lines tonight. Get your guys' picks and kind of get your guys' opinion on what's to come. Because Moss predicted it correct. His crystal ball was there. And, I mean, he couldn't have predicted it more correct. All the way down to using the Apex facility. So, congratulations, Moss. All right, guys, UFC Fight Night 170, or if you want to call it UFC Brasilia. Kevin Lee versus Oliveira. Now, this is coming after a relatively big pay-per-view show from last weekend. Now, I understand a lot of people, there was a lot of controversy over those fights, and we talked about it a lot. But I think this is a good way to kind of lead off of that bad taste left in your mouth, because this is actually a pretty decent fight to be thrown together, especially as a main event. Now, as you would expect, this card is chock full of Brazilians because it's you got that home field kind of play that the UFC likes to use. It's got a healthy mix, I would say, of fan favorites, some veterans, some rising prospects, and so on and so forth. So let's just go through who's on the main card real quick. Kicking off the first fight of the main card, Francisco Trinaldo versus John Makdessi. By the way, all the fights on the main card are fantastic. I love every single one of them. And then we've got Johnny Walker versus Nikita Krylov, which is going to be a fucking slugfest. This one, don't blink, because I guarantee this one ends pretty quick. Great second fight for the main card. And then Renato Moicano versus Damir Hadzovic. And then our co-main event, Demian Maia versus Gilbert Burns. Another great fight to put together. And then we've got the main event, Kevin Lee versus Charles Oliveira. Got a lot to say about those two. With that being said, I'm just going to kick it off straight to the fighters over here. Let's go straight to the first fight. Oh, here we go.
Wonderful.
All right, guys. The first fight of the night, Francisco Trinaldo versus John Makdessi. Like I said, I like this fight a lot. I think this is a good fight to kick off the first fight of the main card. I could have easily seen why they would put this maybe on the preliminaries, but I'm kind of glad they didn't, because I think this is going to be a good transition in to the rest of the fights for Saturday night. Now, one of the oldest fighters on the roster, Trinaldo, is 41 years old. And not the oldest, but one of the oldest. And I kind of believe that we've gotten to a point now where if a fighter is 40 or older, we start to question, what they can do. And I think that's fair. Now, Trinaldo is an excellent fighter all around. He is pretty proficient in just about every area of fighting. He has some pretty powerful striking behind him. He's got an incredible grappling game. I would argue that his cardio is not always where it needs to be, as we have seen in a few fights in the past. However, that hasn't really happened often enough for us to really be worried or concerned about him gassing out in this fight. I would honestly venture to say that Trinaldo doesn't really have many weaknesses to his name. So I think I feel that the only way we could really see Trinaldo's weaknesses come out is if he kind of gets lulled into a point fighting contest. And we did see that when he fought Alexander Hernandez, but I really don't see that happening here. As far as Makdessi is concerned, he has been in the UFC since 2010. So there is a pretty significant veteran status there. And Moss has mentioned before, he always goes with the veteran. He's learned that lesson when picking fights. I don't always do that, because I do feel that a lot of rising prospects, sort of have what it takes to kind of take out a veteran, if they're really in it, if they have what it takes. I would say Makdessi is a rather entertaining technical striker. Not a lot of people like watching him. His counterattacking is where we can kind of see he shines more. I suppose that, like, with that counter striking against the wrong opponent, I feel he could very well find himself in a tough contest spot. Nonetheless, his chin is like granite. He's only been KO'd once in his career by Lando Venata. And overall, I think he can take some pretty severe damage without hesitation. So bottom line for this fight, I feel Trinaldo knows Makdessi is not really all that comfortable in grappling or wrestling in any of those situations. I honestly believe Trinaldo is going to take a look to take Makdessi down and kind of grind out a decision. I think that would be smart. It would always be more exciting to see him take that submission, but I would honestly venture to say Trinaldo is unsuccessful at keeping Makdessi down. He'll probably stand and strike. Either way, I'm pretty confident that Trinaldo is taking Makdessi out here, so I'm going to go with Trinaldo by submission in the second round. Let me know who you guys have in the chat. I say coronavirus by unanimous decision cancels this event, says Crazy Minded. We'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get there. I'm going to try and speed through this, and we will talk about how the event has been closed to the public for this weekend. Fuck Off says, content creator. Pulse Resurrected says, agreed. Andre says, the fight night is better than some pay-per-views we've had, and the crowd is Brazilian, so it's better for the fighters to fight in closed doors. Gary Banjo Sandwich says, agreed. Drunk Savage Trinaldo. NH Me Too Jesse. Trinaldo decision says, Ray the Taikochin. Old G for the win says Nick C. All right, guys, let's move on to the next fight of the evening. Johnny Walker versus Nikita Krylov. Like I said, do not blink in this fight. I'm going to keep this one pretty quick. Johnny Walker is always an exciting fighter to watch. All of his knockouts have come in incredibly bizarre fashions, and he's always quick on the feet. You never really know what he's going to do. You just know not to blink. You just know to just keep paying attention, because anything could happen at any moment. Then he got KO'd by Corey Anderson, and a lot of people believed that his hype train was kind of over after that, but I disagree. I believe that Walker got a little bit too ahead of himself in that fight. He knew the hype that surrounded him based on, his performances, what people were believing about him leading up based off of past fights. I think there was a little more pressure on him as time progressed because he knew fans and what the fans' expectations of him were. I also think that he went into the Corey Anderson fight a little too headstrong, and he didn't really stick to the game plan that he originally had, which allowed Anderson to kind of see those gaps in his approach. In the end, I still believe that Johnny Walker has everything it takes within his striking game to continue this bizarre whirlwind of KOs that he's been on. And I think we may very well have a good chance of seeing that again on Saturday night. And I still think that he has what it takes to be a contender. I think for anyone to underestimate that would be a little ignorant based off of one KO. There's a million fighters who've been KO'd and still made it to the top. And he's still a rising prospect, Walker. So I wouldn't shit on him too quick just based off of what you saw from the Corey Anderson fight. Now, Krylov, this guy kind of garnered a cult reputation, I guess you could say, in the UFC. He had 5 exciting wins from 2014 to 2016, and then he took a loss to Misha Cirkunov and was temporarily out of the UFC. And then he comes back in 2018, loses to Jan Blachowicz. So needless to say, he hasn't really had the best of luck when it came to his return to a UFC career. I do feel that Krylov is beginning to kind of realize the holes in his game when it comes to a certain level of patience, but I don't think it's going to be enough against someone as aggressive as Johnny Walker. So bottom line for this fight, this is probably going to be the trickiest fight on the card to pick, purely because both guys are so unpredictable. We have seen them both in crappy situations before. They both are extremely aggressive fighters. They're also extremely impatient. They're very bullheaded. So I do believe this fight is going to start off swinging for the fences. And that's why I say don't blink. Both dudes are more than capable of knocking each other out, but they're also more than capable of being knocked out. This fight could ultimately go either way, but you already know I have to stick with my dude here. I have to say Walker. I think he's going to bounce back from that Anderson loss, and I think he's going to do it in a pretty ridiculous fashion. So I'm going to go with Walker by KO in the first. Let me know who you guys have in the chat. All right. This is our X Factor fight, says Ray the Taikojin. I got Walker myself. Don't blink or take that bong. It says Insta Enlightenment. Andre says Walker by TKO. Pole says agreed. Anything could happen. Thug Panda says Walker gets it. KO round 1. I love this fight briefings. No dad jokes here. Moss told someone that I had put a halt on dad jokes. That's not true. I did not put a halt on dad jokes. I just I don't know what happened, to be honest. UFC, NBA, NFL, MLB shut down. Walker needs to win. Walker says Nick C selling cruise tickets here, says Arturo. Khabib and Tony canceled again, says John Ruff. All right, guys, let's move on to the next one, and then we'll hit the phone calls here soon. Okay, next fight of the night, of the evening, Renato Moicano versus Damir Hadzovic. Now, a few fighters have really suffered as horrible 2019 as Renato Moicano has, and I think he looked to to move into title contention after that run in 2014.
You're gonna go to sleep. Now you need to back up, or you can go to sleep too.
Drunk Savage.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Scientists have discovered that exposing the coronavirus to Brendan Schaub's comedy kills it instantly. So stop buying up all the toilet paper, you sons of bitches. ONJBH, there's a bug on you.
Thanks. Thanks, Drunk. By the way, that was what Moss was referring to by dad jokes, Drunk. He said it was a dad joke.
Wonderful.
So let me just start by stating that where Moicano's strengths are. The guy has had a pretty impressive jab that we've seen him kind of utilize in his past fights. He's also got some pretty crazy combinations that he likes to use, as well as some pretty lethal kicks. That being said, as a first fight at 155 pounds, this looks like a much more favorable fight for him. Hadzovic is arguably the lowest ranked opponent that he's faced since his UFC debut. I do believe that given Hadzovic does have striking power and a pretty good ground game, I don't think he really has enough still to do much to Moicano, but that's something that Moicano's still going to have to look out for. Now, that's not to say that this still isn't a winnable fight for Hadzovic. I believe that since Moicano, endured two knockout losses, his chin may be a little bit degraded at this point. We have seen it with pretty much all fighters, or almost all fighters, that when they get knocked out more than once, and it happens in recurring fashion, eventually that chin starts to go. Given that Moicano's durability may very well be much lower in this fight, I do want everyone to remember that Aldo still did not outclass him. So there is still that off chance that he's perfectly fine. There's nothing to worry about with his chin, and he'll just endure whatever damage Hadzovic tries to give him. So bottom line for this fight, in all honesty, Moicano is going to be in his home country. He's going to have that home field advantage. He's trying to get back into a win column. He's in a new weight class. I think these are all ingredients to a pretty decent recipe to a nice outcome for him here. Now, not that Hadzovic is not capable of winning this fight, but I feel that this fight is a little more one-sided. I say Moicano for the win. I think he's going to edge him out for a decision, but I could see if you pick Hadzovic. Let me know who you guys have in the chat. All right. Yo, Jesse. Yo, Brett, how's it going? Pulse resurrected, retracted his message. No home field advantage with no crowd, JBH. I suppose you could say that, but he's still fighting in his home. I guess that's a good point. That's a really good point, Nixie. I didn't think about that. I'm considering home field advantage based on them being home and fighting, but they feed off of their home crowd. And if their home crowd's not there, I suppose you're right. There's not really a home field advantage. There's nothing to draw from. No energy to draw from. So, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, man. I didn't even think about that. All right, the next fight, the co-main event, Demian Maia versus Gilbert Burns. I already said in the beginning I like this fight a lot. I think this is, I always like seeing Maia fight. Given that he's 42 years old now, it's really not uncommon for fans to sort of question just how much more he has left in him. But he is coming off of 3 wins. But before that, he was also on a 3-fight losing streak, so I find it very interesting because it's kind of like it's very wobbly right now. He could really go either way, and I find that fascinating. I feel that given his opponents were Woodley, Covington, and Usman, he did have competitors at the highest levels of his division. Now, you could argue that since he lost to 3 of the best, that he doesn't really have what it takes to really be at the top anymore, but that doesn't mean that he's not still worth watching. Like I said, he is coming off of 3 wins, so Demian Maia has arguably had a pretty decent year, but he defeated younger opponents, and I feel when you have a veteran, and this goes back to what I was saying when Moss said that he chooses the veteran over the newcomer. sometimes, like this case, it's not like that. This is something that we have to kind of look at and be like, well, you know, did he really have what it takes, or is it because these were up and coming fighters or fighters who had just joined the UFC or just had a UFC debut? Now, I would say Maia, his preferred style of fighting, we all know, is positional based grappling. Everybody knows that. We've seen it a million times. And I think that the problem for Burns here is that Maia has traditionally beaten any grapplers that have faced him with pretty much ease. The only man to beat Maia while primarily grappling was Jake Shields, and that was questionable because largely on Shields' ability to claim top position, there was a lot of controversy around that. Now, is Burns amongst those few? I would honestly say it's hard to say. He did emerge back in the UFC back in 2014, and he did have a pretty decent reputation as a world-class grappler, but despite suffering those 3 losses, he hasn't really impressed as much as many would have hoped. So bottom line for this fight, guys, can Maia finish Burns? Probably not. I'd say it's tough. I would say that he's never really been submitted, and the likelihood of such a credentialed grappler to get tapped, even by someone like Maia, seems pretty low. But unless, you know, like I said, Father Time really catches up to him at 42 years old, to the point where his skills have sort of diminished in you know, the 5 months since he fought Askren, I don't see any way he loses this one. So I'm still going to go with Maia, but I'm going to go by decision in the 5th. Let me know who you guys have in the chat. Infected are being shot in the streets. Head for your bomb shelter hideout, says Vigo Stockholm. Definitely a submission finish for Maia. I'm with JBH. Thank you, Nixie. Maia submission, a good retirement win. You think he's going to retire after this one? It wouldn't be impossible. I've had Maia. I spoke to Burns on FaceTime, and he said he is going to go in with a heavy wrestling plan, which isn't smart. Well, listen, I think he can give Maia a run for his money for sure. I'll wait. Is there any word on 249? I'm going to cry if it's off. Not yet. We'll talk about it in just a sec. I'm going to bring Moss in here in about 2 seconds. We're going to go over the last fight. Maia by submission. Don't be silly, says Ray the Taikujin. Maia submission round 3 or 4. It's a 3-round fight. I'm sorry. I had it written as 5. My apologies. I can't wait for 2 fight Khabib versus Tony and Izzy versus Costa. Maia submission. Come chat to me for a bit on FT. I have no idea what that is. What is FT? All right. Next fight, last fight of the evening, the main event. Kevin Lee versus Charles Oliveira. Now, this is a lightweight clash. It does promise to be a hell of a fight, if you ask me, between 2 of the division's most experienced younger fighters. So, despite being in the UFC since 2010, Oliveira, still only 30 years old, he's got 6 straight wins to his name. He's on one of the best runs of his career. But the question is, does he really have enough to deal with Kevin Lee, who recently KO'd Gregor Gillespie with that massively vicious head kick? Lee, aka the Motown Phenom, did appear to show promise as the future of the 155-pound division. He had 6 out of 7 wins, only lost to Tony Ferguson. Then the fight with Ally Quinta made him move up to 170 pounds against better judgment. And at 170 pounds, RDA completely outclassed him, like it was nothing. Since then, he's moved back to 155 pounds, and he's made an instant impact. He KO'd Gillespie like a knife through butter. It was crazy. His striking does get better and better with every fight, I would argue, and I feel like it would be pretty safe to say that he's pretty comfortable on the feet now, but it is important to recognize the strength in his wrestling alone. His ground and pound is nothing to be played with, and he has this innate ability to submit his opponents in such a lethal manner. It's actually very entertaining to watch. As much as Kevin Lee annoys me, it's very entertaining to watch. I'd say in terms of weaknesses, his cardio may be of some worry. Sometimes he starts off pretty quick in the beginning of a fight, and then he can't really keep his pacing throughout the fight, and then that's kind of when his opponents, start landing on him or take him down or whatever. Now, Oliveira's record does say it all. The dude is 16-8 in the UFC, and nearly all have come by way of stoppage. He also has been finished, but in terms of his being an offensive fighter, I would argue that he's nothing less than phenomenal. Now, I would say It's worth mentioning that all of those great wins that he has had have been against fighters that have put a lot of pressure on him or even hurt him at times. So Oliveira is most certainly different from Lee when it comes to fighting style, both on the feet and on the ground. He's definitely going to give Lee a run for his money on the ground, given that a lot of his submission wins have come by lethal chokes. And what was the other one? It was a calf something. There was another submission that was freaking insane to watch. So much like Lee, Oliveira is continuously improving with his striking. I think he's a little more comfortable than Lee on the feet. He knocked out his last 2 opponents, in fact, so that's definitely something Lee is going to have to be aware of. With weakness in mind, though, I would say he has a slight lack of ability to withstand pressure. So bottom line for this fight, guys, I think this was a tricky fight to pick. Not as tricky as the Johnny Walker fight, I think. I believe that Kevin Lee does have a lot more strength in wrestling. And as I previously mentioned, his striking has significantly improved. With that in mind, it's honestly tough for me to wrap my head around the fact or the idea that Oliveira is going to have that home field advantage. Or not home field advantage anymore because he has no audience, but the fact that he's going to be home fighting. And he's shown just as much improvement in his game as Kevin Lee has. So Oliveira basically has a puncher's chance here, which is why I see him, we see him all around the betting odds as the under. But I do feel he's going to bring something on Saturday night that we were not really prepared to see. So my pick is, of course, Charles Oliveira. And I'm going to even stretch it even further. And I'm going to say by TKO. I know it's a stretch, guys. I know it's a stretch. Let me know if you have any time. All right, Flat Earth Deacon says Mike H is sick. Rai the Taikojan says Brazilian Athletics. Andre Villafranca says Kevin Lee by TKO. Don't care, didn't ask, says Yi Chio Chi. All right, whatever that means. A Flat Earth says no, my uncle is very sick. I hope he gets better. Ran. KL says Eduardo 6 says Pedrosky hit me up. Ride Drive Lily says Lee, the fight has been moved to Vegas. Bro Sanchez wrenched me up. Vigo Stockholm President something. Bring on Moss. Yep, he's coming in a second. Lee all the way. It's close, man. I do not have Lee. All right, guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys a beautiful little song over here, and then we're going to move on to the phone lines. We're going to get your guys' opinion because we've got a lot to talk about. In fact, for those of you guys who are unaware, which I don't know how that's possible, UFC Fight Night 170 is to be held without a crowd. So we're going to talk about that here pretty soon. And yeah, just give me a second.
MMA-Holes. What's your name and what's on your mind?
What's up, Jesse and Chris? It's Drunk Savage.
No way!
Drunk Savage. What's up, Jesse and Chris? It's Drunk Savage.
I can't believe you're calling right now. Drunk Savage, what's on your mind?
Not much.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I have a respect for everybody in the chat.
MMA-Holes.
Vlad's one of them. Kevin's from Chicago. AMH, I mean the knitter.
I'm just enjoying this.
I can hear you.
Hi, this is Billy.
It's Stanley here too. We have Sean Hart.
Hey there. What's up, man?
What's up, Pulse?
Oh, it's Justin Jr.
Fuck you, Chrome.
Hernandez.
Okay, no.
Lord.
RX.
Bro, Heavy Mike, Rock, Indy, Russ, Sean, Man, Vigo, Big Bob, Basically Dragon, White, Nick, Steve, Vigo, Southern Country, Don't, Shannon, Stewart, Bro, Helio, Ben Simmons, BC 2.0, Pedophilia,
Jeremiah. Hey, Lee W. Michelangelo. MMA-Holes. Man, what a wonderful, wonderful community.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Oh, I feel it. I feel good. I feel sexy. I feel swole. Let's have later slap this.
I
All right.
like biting your shoulder.
I know. I had to go to the bathroom and wipe your face off my shoulder, too.
What?
Nah, that's all right. I still love you, Jesse. You're the best.
I spit on you.
Yeah.
I'm infected. Jesse, you infected?
No, I'm good.
I'm infected. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take some phone calls tonight on JBH's fight briefing. Thank you for having me on, Jesse.
You're welcome.
And here we are. You guys ready to call in? Because we have a lot to talk about tonight. And like the Mystical One said, I'm not really happy about this prediction, to be honest. The weird part about this whole situation is, why are all the other sports canceling? Like, they're just flat out canceling their events. The XFL just did it now. Mm-hmm. And the UFC is like, we're not going to let the people in. We're just going to have these guys fight. And I don't think they're being tested for the coronavirus. Are the athletes being tested for the virus? Because there's nothing out there that's saying that
they get tested for like fever and you know, standard symptoms of being sick. So but I would assume yes.
It's a little weird. It is a little weird how all these other sports are like, well, we're not going to let these guys compete, but we'll have these guys beat the living shit out of each other and bleed all over each other and whatever. And that's good. How long do you think that's going to take? How long do you think the UFC is going to allow this before they're going to be like, listen, we're not going to be able to do this?
Allow what? Being behind closed doors?
I mean, competing. If you think about it. So if and like I predicted, it looks like they're going to start doing these events at the Apex facility over there in Vegas, right? UFC 249, you could pretty much lock it up. It's going to happen in Vegas. It's terrible. Like, it's supposed to happen in Brooklyn. They would have had a huge turnout, but this virus is real. It's not a joke anymore. I think we're all on the same page here that this is not a joke. So now they're going to have this at the facility. You have to have like camera crew. You have to have sound guys and lighting guys. You have to have the announcers and the ref and the judges. You have to have a decent amount of people in there. Now, you're not going to have over 200, well, maybe you will have over 250 people there. I mean, there's got to be a lot of people in that facility in order to run a show, right?
Well, yeah, I would assume.
I mean, I don't know if it's 250 people. I mean, I don't know how many there is, but still, there's a decent amount of people that have to be in there, that have to travel to get there.
But I think they're just trying to limit the risk of the virus spreading by having more people there who are susceptible.
And also, what about them not allowing people from Europe to come into the States? How are all these fighters that are on their roster that are all over the world, how are they going to come here to compete? What, are we going to have a league of their own and have like Rosie O'Donnell step in and fight for them like she did in that baseball movie, Jesse? Are they going to have like scabs come in or some shit? Like, how is this going to work? Eventually, you have to think about it. Maybe they're just not going to have anything at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Am I freaking you out?
No, I'm just
okay.
Looking at something.
What are you looking at? Ooh. Phone calls? Let's get what's on your mind over here, because this is a real deal. This is a real situation. This weekend in Brazil, there's no crowd. They're going to have the doors closed. They're going to have the event happen. And I'm kind of happy that we're at least going to see some fights. But what about the safety of the situation? Let's see what's going on in that chat. And I'm going to open up the phone lines right now. Jess, what do we got going in there?
Aliens Are Here says, the truth of the matter is it all needs to stop, bro. Vigo says, Gina Davis Moss. Flat Earth says, Kem from Chicago. Call in, brother. Babies with scabbies. They canceled hockey. Fuck, I can't call you from Portugal. I've tried 3 times. Use Hangouts. Use Hangouts to call.
That's right. Google Hangouts. If you can give us a call on there as well. Let's see. Yeah, it's the MMA-Holes at gmail.com. If you are in another country, you can call in on our Hangouts, and we'll pick up out-of-country calls as well. All right, so here we go. Let's open up the phone lines, and if you can't get through, which is going to be difficult because I think a bunch of people are going to call in, just let us know in the chat what your thoughts are on this coronavirus situation, because it's real. I mean, I know everyone's joking around and all, oh no, what are we going to do? But, oh, you're overreacting. But I don't think we're overreacting anymore. This is real.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on, Jesse? Why The ratings are going up through the roof. What's going on? 516-522-0267. Call in right now. Give a call. Jesse's upset because I changed the tags. I put coronavirus in the tags. She's like, oh my God, you ruined the algorithm. Don't worry, Jesse. People will show up. 516-522-0267 is the number. So give us a call and we'll talk about the event this weekend. Actually, you should be controlling this shit. Why am I? This is your show. Give it a go ahead.
No, because my headphones don't stretch, so I had to put you there.
Well, here's the mouse, and I don't want to work tonight. All right, here we go. They're calling away, Jesse.
832, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, Justice Pulse?
What's up, Pulse?
Nothing much. What's going on, Chris?
How you doing?
I'm all right. I had a question. John Lineker, Johnny Walker, and Gilbert Burns, all of these guys grew up, born and raised in Brazil. How is it that they have American-ass names like this?
That's what you're thinking of right now. Well, I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. I have no idea. Well, what about Tony Ferguson, right? This man's a Mexican. And like Khabib said, what kind of Mexican has the last name of Ferguson?
If you look up his real name is like Armando Anthony something Padilla. So he's as Mexican as he wants to be with a name like that. I think he changed it to try to fit in America.
What do you think, Jess?
Can I just... Thanks. Hold on. Keep talking to him, Moss.
No, I asked you, what do you think? I know her thing is all switched around, so I don't know what the hell's going on here. I don't think anything of it. Why are you asking me? What do you think? I don't know. I mean, it's their names. I mean, what do you think? There's some conspiracy going on?
I don't know. I'm just wondering, like, how does that work? That'd be like people in America being named, you know, Alessio Barbosa or something like that. It'd be like, where the fuck did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
In any event, we got the same picks on this card.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and I'm actually picking Dubronx for the win by TKO as well. He's on a 2-fight win streak of knockouts, and he's a BJJ guy, so he's getting, you know, he's becoming well-rounded, and yeah, I think he's making a push. I think if we're looking at the next tier guys that can potentially challenge Khabib, I think Dubronx will be there after this win Saturday.
All right. Thanks for the call, Pulse. There he is. Pulse Reloaded.
What an awkward conversation. I gotta change something else too. Thanks.
This wasn't very well planned out here.
Yes, it was.
So, yeah, get your calls in 516-522-0267 as I am sitting in on JBH's fight briefing right now. We've got someone else jumping in.
Unknown caller, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Yo, John Savage.
What's up, drunk?
First of all, Pulse, you know, people can move to other countries and shit, you know, from America. That is possible.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know where he was going with that. I mean, I don't know. Like, sometimes people say I look more Irish than Italian, and I have an Italian last name, and I don't know. Who cares, right?
Let's everybody stop for a minute and in the chat tell us, does Moss look Irish or Italian?
Because they say my red beard. That's what they say. You're not Italian. You got a red beard.
Don't put ideas in their head. Just let them say.
Who cares?
With this fucking taking away the crowd and shit, you knew this was coming, and thank God the UFC's the only one with the balls to keep on going.
That's right. I mean, well, I'm excited that we get to see more fights. I am, but I do worry about the safety of these fighters. You know, I mean, it's bad enough that they have to, you know, beat each other up in a cage and get half naked for us and all that stuff. And then, you know, you got this disease where they're traveling all over the place. You have all these other sports that are saying, no, this is not safe. But the UFC is saying it is, as long as there's not people in the crowd. I mean, this is a pandemic. This is not like
a global pandemic.
Yeah, this is
not just a pandemic. This is a global pandemic.
Yeah, I didn't even know what pandemic was until a couple of days ago.
So Donald Trump?
No idea, no clue. Now I know. Thank God for the coronavirus.
Well, you know, like sports like basketball, they can afford to take off a whole season. You know, they make so much fucking money. But UFC is like pay-per-view based mostly, so they kind of have to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And Dana don't give a fuck. He just wants money.
Indeed.
It's funny, last night we were going on and on about this whole thing, this coronavirus thing, and a lot of people dismissed it. And then today it's been a complete flip. I didn't even know the president was going to talk. I kind of wish I heard that yesterday. But now everyone's flipping the script and talking about what we were talking about. I heard Chael Sonnen saying that I'm basically piggybacking what we were saying. I mean, I think a lot of people are thinking the same thing now, that the UFC is going to do this in the Apex facility. They're going to still have these pay-per-views, but there's no one going to be there. And this could be a game changer. That's what Chael Sonnen's saying. Yeah, think about it. If these people are going to the building, going to these events, not paying the tickets for the prices, they're going to be paying to watch it at home. They're diehard fans. They really want to see these fights happen. So maybe the UFC will change the game here with any sport. I mean, will the Super Bowl or baseball
become like a pay-per-view?
Be just silence? And I mean, we can't hear the sound, but maybe this is going to be a thing. Maybe this is the future.
No, not the Super Bowl. No,
we need entertainment.
Could you imagine a Super Bowl with no audience?
I can't. Nor do I imagine a Brazilian arena with no people in it. And I mean,
we've seen that before. ONE FC did that, and it turned out perfectly fine.
You said the ratings weren't good.
Well, the ratings were less because they didn't have people coming and buying to get in.
Well, that has nothing to do with the ratings. That, if anything, that should increase the ratings at home. So think about this: we're having an event in Brazil, right? For the Brazilian fans, and we're going to load up the roster, the card with people that are from Brazil. So they have their hometown people to cheer on. Now, the playing field is leveled. Now it's even now. Now you have people from America, from Canada, from all over the place. We got a donation.
You can go to sleep too.
And this is from Barney.
As the shores of unspoken sun has come to touch the land, the men who are lost look into their souls and don't find meaning as the stars stop shining. The shine of light of the endless has but been gone, all to be here at one point in.
Thank you. All right, so anyway, appreciate that donation. So, what is wrong with this Barney fella? I can't seem to figure this out. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. So
you got some good weed.
I can't. My head gets. I feel like I have the coronavirus when I hear his donations. So now the playing field's it's level. It's even now, right? So you have Kevin Lee going over there. It's like, well, I don't have to worry about the crowd booing me or anyone getting into my head. It's just me versus my opponent. Maybe this is a game changer. A complete even playing field. Think about that. Maybe this is a new way of consuming a sport.
Yeah. But you think they're gonna raise the prices of the pay-per-views because no gate sales?
You know what? I think if this continues, I think that's inevitable. I really do. I think that's the unfortunate part of this whole thing. I mean, there's many unfortunate things, but we will have to pay more. I really do believe that. Now, if our economy is truly hit like it looks like it's going to be hit, then how can they charge these crazy prices?
Yeah, that would be the concern.
How could they can't do it, but I think it's inevitable. If the economy doesn't take a crazy hit and we somehow bounce back, but we can't contain this coronavirus, people still need to be entertained. They'll pay for it.
Do you know why I think we might take some semblance of a hit? Is people are already panicking. I went to the grocery store today and I took a picture of this lady's cart in front of me, and her whole cart was filled with like 3 things of toilet paper. On the belt she had 2 more things of toilet paper and 3 things of paper towels and 2 of napkins. Like, I have no idea why she's stocking up on all this stuff, but it's clear people are panicking. So if people are panicking at a grocery store, you can guarantee they're panicking when it comes to the stocks and everything else. So I do believe there's going to be a hit. I mean, it's pretty clear. I mean, we'd be ignorant to think that there's not,
And yeah, can we just talk about the people that are saying, oh, you're overreacting, or some people are saying it's not a virus and this and that. Guys, listen. This is real. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but this shit is real. I mean, what more do you need to see? Does the coronavirus have to knock on your door and be like, hey, I'm the coronavirus, ha-pow, right in your face? Like, what kind of stupidity is this? It's here. Let's deal with this shit. Let's stop being like, oh, everyone's overreacting. I mean, the shit is here.
You need to back up, and you can go to sleep too.
Ride drive.
It sucks, no sports. Am I supposed to talk to my wife and kids now after work? Smiley face.
Yeah, drunk. Now we got to talk to our family.
But, they're saying like it's going to kill 60 million people or some shit. I don't believe that. I think
150 million.
Get through it.
They say.
Yeah, we got to be optimistic though. We can't go crazy and be like these knuckleheads that are buying all the toilet paper in the fucking store. Like we got to be.
Yeah, fuck those people.
Yeah, we got to be somewhat normal. And by the way, shout out to Lux Bidet. A link in the description. Promo code MMA-Hole for 10% off. Shoot the water in your ass, and you'll have the last laugh as people are trying to find toilet paper. Anyway, shameless plug. Jesse, shouldn't people calm down?
I think that we need to find a happy medium, and someone I was listening to earlier said it best. We need to not panic, not run to the grocery store and just buy everything out and completely go into this full-on recession. But at the same time, let's be aware. This is a serious virus that is killing people. Be aware of it. Keep yourself clean. Keep yourself in closed quarters unless you have to go out. Like those types. Let's just find a happy medium here. There's a way to do it.
Yeah, those things getting people all scared, and they're just trying to buy back low control by buying all this fucking shit and stocking up.
It's crazy. I told Jesse went to the store and saw this craziness go on, and I said, honestly, this happens with snowstorms.
It's no, this was insane. Like this, first of all, I was not rattled before I went in. It was after I left that I finally felt rattled because I witnessed it firsthand. I went in there, all the canned food was wiped out. I was lucky to get any canned food at all. The meat was wiped out, cleaning products wiped out. It was crazy.
CBD. Samuel Gonzalez coming in with the CBD. We're going to need a lot more of that, too.
CBD, it helps with healing process and inflammation and stuff like that. So you want to get these for before or after the fight training.
Please. What up, 220? Samuel Gonzalez.
If we die, we die.
Say it. If we die, we die. Right? That's it. Drunk, anything else on your mind?
Well, we need to figure out a fucking meeting place for all the OGs to meet up if this becomes a fucking apocalypse or something. Write it all out together.
Yeah, man. We should just pass it around to each other and breathe all over each other. Just transmit it. Just go out like, geez.
Humanity's going to take a hit, going to get wiped out. Fucking JBH, Shannon Stewart, you're going to be in charge of repopulating the earth, so...
Man, you better back up.
I sense a gangbang happening. Nick C. What up, Nick C?
Barney, the retired purple dinosaur and reject Carney. How fucked up in the head are we? You fap to Mystic Moss and pull heads off of Barbie. Sorry, not sorry. Another gay lord lyrically slayed without being luck getting laid. Microphone.
There we go, dropping some rhymes. Thank you, Nick C. Appreciate that.
All right, so Lee with the KO and Maia with submission. Those are my picks.
All right, thanks, Drunk.
Later, so much.
Later.
That's Drunk Savage calling in, Jess. Bet you didn't know that. All right, 516-522-0267. That is the number. Can we put it up over here? There we go.
Yep.
516-522-0267. Call us up and let us know your thoughts on the coronavirus. Hey, maybe we're overreacting. Should the UFC still have events? Do you like the fact that they're doing it closed door? Bellator tomorrow, they shut the doors as well in Connecticut. So something to talk about.
832, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Hey, this is Matt. How are you guys doing?
What up, Matt?
Hi, Matt.
Hey, I had a question someone brought up a really good point in the chat room about, the people that are more susceptible to this virus. Fighters are cutting weight, so like their immune systems are low. Wouldn't the UFC be concerned about that?
You would think, right? It's not healthy to cut weight.
But like I said, the doctors test them for all of these symptoms of being sick. So it's not like they're just cutting weight, their immune system's low, they get sick and they just enter the octagon. It's not like that. They're keeping an eye. They wouldn't let them in there if there was a problem.
Yeah, but Jesse, I mean, listen, I guess I'm playing devil's advocate here. I love the sport. I want to see guys beat each other up. I'm all about that. But we're in the middle of a pandemic, and we're like, hey, you must lose a abnormal amount of weight to make this weight, and then you have to get in a cage and then beat the living shit out of each other until you almost die. On top of this whole pandemic, in front of an arena full of nobody, and I understand it's their jobs and this and that, and I don't want to be that guy to say that they shouldn't be doing this, but they really shouldn't, if you think about it, It's kind of fucked up. I mean, they signed up for this, but it's kind of fucked up. What do you think, caller?
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how this goes with the closed. I mean, if they test everyone, their team that comes in, And I've heard that the test isn't all that great. So, but in case if it is, test everyone, let it go. I think all sporting events should do that. Like this basketball, the March Madness is going on. Test the teams, test the coaches, and just let them play in a closed arena.
Yeah.
I think the craziest thing is we live in a time where we don't trust the news anymore. Like I hear that it's not as bad as it seems on one channel, then the other that it's spreading like crazy. And apparently this all started from people eating bats in China.
Now they're debunking that. Now they're saying that's not the reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we don't even know we don't know.
And I heard this off the news. This wasn't even off the internet, so that's crazy. See how it changes like day to day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we live in a time where that's even, you can't even really trust the news if there's anything that is, for instance, like today I was at Starbucks and I mentioned about the Corona beers their sales dropping, and someone said, oh, that's fake. So I looked it up, and like the New York Times said it was fake, and the other one said it was real, and like these are all legitimate sources.
Yeah.
So I think that's also puts people into hysteria.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's nuts. But we'll see what happens in the next week or two, or the next week.
Yeah, that's all we could do.
Contain it. By the way, JBH, this is Manny C. You guys have a good night.
Son of a bitch! Why does he always do this to me?
Manny back in.
So every time someone used to call in, I used to say, Manny C, and he never called. And then the one time I don't start asking if it's Manny C.
Take that. You should know by now.
I can't with this guy.
Manny coming in.
I can't.
Yeah, so we can't trust the news. We can't trust any source of information, right? It's very difficult to trust it. We watched the Joe Rogan interview. I can't remember the guy's name. We put it on the community section. Some people are dismissing it, saying the guy's an alarmist or whatever. But he did speak about this virus, and it's very interesting. So if you didn't see the interview, let me know what the ones in the chat if you saw it. But Joe Rogan on the community section, it's not set up over here, but it's on our YouTube channel in the community section. Check it out for yourself. It gives you more insight to what the virus is. But even he said that we still don't know, like, what to do with this thing. And that's the scary part. There is something out there that is infecting people, and people are dying from this. We don't know what numbers are accurate. All we know is this is serious and something has to be done, and we have to kind of stay as calm as possible and move on with our lives. Here on the MMA-Holes, we're not here to try to get you guys all freaked out. We just want answers into, what is next for our entertainment. Without entertainment, what the hell is the purpose of living? I mean, we do our jobs during the week to enjoy things during the weekend. We live for events and moments and things to escape. We live for premieres of movies and watching sporting events. Like, that's what we live for, realistically. That's our joy. Everything else is like, okay, hey, I had a baby, that's great. Now this baby's going to piss me off. Hey, I got married, now I hate my wife. Like, that all sucks. But entertainment, sports, this is the stuff that never fails us. Even if we're disappointed with the outcome of a movie or an outcome of a sporting event, it still is our source of joy. And if we don't have that, then what do we have? We got to talk to each other? We gotta love each. I mean, this is ridiculous. Anyway, let's get your thoughts on this whole coronavirus situation with the UFC or sports in general. I mean, it's a real thing.
920, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Hey, Shawnee Mac. What's going on, Holes?
What up, Sean?
Hey, I just wanted to build off something I think Moss was saying about them not testing fighters. Did you guys see, I don't know when it was, but a little while ago there was an interview somebody did with Dana White, and he said something like, I don't give a shit about the coronavirus, kind of trying to downplay it. I think they're being really reckless going forward with this. I think this will be the last event that we see for a while, because what happened with Rudy Gobert is apparently, he wasn't, I don't think that he was even showing any symptoms. They said that, even he was planning on playing last night until he got that test result back. So I think it's really dangerous that they're not testing these fighters, and I think what's going to end up happening is,
Absolutely.
they're going to end up testing these people, and it doesn't even have to be a fighter. It could be a trainer, somebody that's been in one of these gyms, and somebody's going to test positive, and they're going to have no choice but to shut everything down. So it makes me really nervous that this is probably going to be the last event that we see for a while.
Yeah, it's scary. It's really scary.
Now, do you think, like you mentioned before, you said that Dana White is kind of downplaying it and everything. Would you put it past Dana White or anybody else within the organization to kind of keep it low key? God forbid someone pops positive with coronavirus, that they try to keep it low key so they can keep the organization going.
Well, I don't think there's, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But just kind of the way his tone, I guess, it didn't really seem accurate. But I get it. There's a lot of money to be made and to be lost. But I think these just the protocols that are in place. If somebody tests positive, you have to shut everything down. So I think that they don't want to test people, and I don't blame them for not wanting to test people as long as there are no symptoms. But at a certain point, at a certain point, they're going to be the only sport running.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the PGA, I think, this weekend. I don't think there's any fans there, and who really cares, about golf or whatever. People aren't even that close quarters in golf. You could be a fair way away from somebody, and it's kind of all good. But at a certain point, I mean, there's too many people in this organization from all over the world. Like you said, with travel from Europe, what are they going to do?
Yep.
I mean, it's going to get to a certain point where I think they will have no choice but not being able to move forward.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be after this week. I really do.
Listen, that prediction is most likely going to come true. I mean, it's sad to say, but I mean, like you said, I mean, golf is open, so you got to think, okay, they won't have people there, but it's open out in the environment.
Fresh air.
Yeah, you can get away with that. But with this, I mean, you're enclosed, and this is a combat sport. God forbid one of these guys has something. I mean, or a cameraman or something like that. So anyone could have something. Yeah. You just breathe it. It's in the air for 3 hours after it's exhaled from somebody. This is highly contagious.
This is something you could literally just breathe in.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. That's all I got for you guys. I want you guys to have a great night. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for the call, man. Super Insane, I saw you in the chat. He's the one with the note behind us over here. That's Super Insane's note over there. I said, when the Tony versus Khabib fight doesn't happen, I'm going to pull that note off the wall. I hope I don't have to pull that note off the wall. I hope I am wrong and you're right. That's what I'm hoping. But this fight is cursed. Khabib and Tony.
You're not going to have to pull the note off the wall, Moss.
It's cursed. Now, I think... Oh, man. I'm trying to think... How much longer could the UFC go with this? I mean, if we know anything, the UFC is all about money, right? How long can they go if every sport shuts down? How could the UFC be the only one to say, well, we won't have anyone there. We're just going to let these two people beat each other up. Like, how much before they're saying, no, you can't do that?
Shit, man. I don't know. That's a good question.
Drunk Savage coming in over here with a donation.
Super chat.
What does Drunk Savage have to say?
What's up with MMA media and embedded during this?
I was thinking the exact same thing. Remember I brought that up to you, Jesse? I said, what is the media going to do in this whole situation? That's a great question. These people have jobs too. I mean, I guess you can cover it on social media. You have your websites and all that stuff.
Well, it's closed to the public, but I would assume they would still do like some sort of like post-fight thing. For the media.
Are they going to be at these closed door events? Do they get tested?
Yeah, I would think they would take some sort of precautionary measure.
Man, you better back up.
I think they're going to be
involved.
You
need to back up, or you can go to sleep.
Drunk Savage on fire over here.
Oh shit, I just thought of something. Dana White is an evil genius. All other sports are gone, so the only choice is MMA. People who never watched it start to and become fans. Then they start spending their money on the PPVs and whatnot.
You know
all
what?
The money.
He is not wrong, Drunk Savage. Think about that. Drunk Savage, a lot of people love conspiracies, and I know this might ruffle some feathers, but Dana White is good friends with Donald Trump. He gets the heads up. He makes the Apex facility. When did he make that? A couple years back? And then it came out for the Contender Series. Like, why are we putting this Apex facility together? Oh, because they know this virus is out, right? And then all of a sudden, all the other sports are getting shut down. Well, they started building it a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah,
it just came out last year, correct?
The coronavirus was made public on December 31st.
Yes. And do you not think that there might have been rumbles about this? Do you think that the coronavirus came out December 31st?
No, it was made public December 31st.
Yes. So they knew about it for a while. You have to admit, everyone knew about this for a while.
It spread so fast.
But you don't think that people knew about this virus beforehand? Before we all heard about it?
Yes, they knew. Yeah, they knew about it beforehand in China. And they thought they could contain it, and they didn't tell anyone about it. But it wasn't around for long.
I'm playing the
beforehand
conspiracy game right now. Do I believe this? No, but anything is possible. Okay, this Apex facility, which is barely ever used, it's just used for the Contender Series. They said they're going to throw boxing over there. There has been no boxing fights at this Apex facility, but all of a sudden, it's now they have a special place where they can have these small, they could bring all these big events and kind of quarantine it and show it on a pay-per-view and get away with it. It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird how that place is there, and now all these other sports are shutting down, but the UFC is still going.
You need to back up, and you can go to sleep too.
Strange.
I'm surprised these niggers weren't the first to be shut down. Unlike football and basketball, these niggers are actually trading blood in that octagon. Trump being good friends with Dana might play into why they're able to continue the sport.
I'm telling you, Vlad, it may sound crazy, but why should we not think about that, right? Like, think about it. Now, listen, I thought Trump's speech last night was great. I listened to it.
He read off of a teleprompter.
I know he read off a teleprompter, but I felt like, hey, you know what? I'm going to try to believe this guy for a second. I don't believe presidents or anything like that. I'm not a big Trump guy, but I listened to it. I'm like, okay, listen, I feel hope.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so. You don't like me coming over to your side?
No, you're being a little
I talk with my hands.
With the hands.
You make me nervous. I'm sending my kids to Catskills.
The Catskills. Isn't the Catskills all fucked up over there too? I don't know, man. Thank you for the donation, Brazilian. What's to say that? I mean, there's a lot of fishy things going on here. Now, I don't believe in it. Like, if someone were to say, Chris, do you really believe these things that you're saying? I don't believe it.
Why are you saying them?
But I have to throw it out there because I like to play devil's advocate. I like to say, okay, what's the other side? What are the conspiracy people going to think? I like to think about those things because maybe it's true. Who knows?
You seen The Simpsons call the virus?
Jessie did. Yeah, she saw that on Facebook over there. Thank you, Super Insane. Yeah, Simpsons call everything. Let's open those phone lines back up at 516. Ooh, creamy.
No, caller, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
What's up? Is Justin Jr. I'd just like to give a couple thoughts on this. This is serious, man. But before I get into the corona, the UFC side of it, this is such an advantage to the, there were a lot of Brazilians fighting on this card. Of course, this is such an advantage to the people who are not from Brazil because, they were going to get booed. So whatever mental aspect the hometown Brazilian had coming in, it's gone. No one's going to be booing Kevin Lee. No one's going to be booing all the other non-Brazilian fighters. But about this coronavirus, it's all serious, yes, I know, but I'm a little happy of it. My school is canceled for next week.
No school for you,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's about pretty much 80%, and we have a half day tomorrow, because the teachers is going to have a meeting. There's already, I think, 2 people who have the coronavirus, not in my state, in, my town.
Yeah.
It's some 83-year-old and then a 27-year-old. But, I'm not stressing about it. The only thing our mom has done,
Yeah.
My mom's a doctor, but not a doctor.
Do you have the coronavirus? We asked you the last time you called in. You sound worse. Have you gone to the doctor since?
I don't have the corona.
What do you have?
Tell me that now.
You got the flu or
I
something?
don't have anything. It's
yeah.
But
Wait, this is just your voice?
What?
You sound very nasally. You sound tired. You're wheezing right now. I think you have something, Justin.
Don't have nothing.
Oh, okay. So you're
telling you that.
Yeah.
but man, all I'm saying is my mom is a doctor for pregnant ladies, so I really can't speak on the doctor aspect of this situation. But
So what is your point?
the
Can you get to it?
Vitamin C pills
Yeah.
every morning, or not the vitamin C, but to build up the immune system.
Okay,
The
yeah.
immune system can get stronger and forget the coronavirus.
Okay, thank you, Justin.
I'll
I appreciate
probably
the
live.
Yes.
And
be
shout out
safe.
to Gilbert Burns. Get that win tonight.
All right, he's not fighting tonight. All right.
You leave him on
You know
for
what he sounds
so
like?
long.
He sounds like Pat from Saturday Night Live. You ever hear it?
I can't.
Pat, they didn't know what gender Pat was. Do you remember? You ever see that skit on Saturday Night Live?
But no,
he sounds just like him.
He's just so slow at talking. Like, just
I don't
talk
know.
fast. Just get to the point, man.
All right.
I have no patience.
All right, let's open the phone lines. 516-522-0267. Call in.
908, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Hello.
Hello. You got to turn the stream down in the background, bud.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't sure if somebody answered.
What's your name?
Jay.
Jay. What's on your mind, Jay?
Well, I just wanted to start off by saying, hey, Chris, hey, Jesse, what's up? Love the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, to go back to answer your first question you opened the show with, I'm the one that's always in the chat, along with the other 100 people saying, this is Sparta. I'm one of the Gerard Butler lookalike fans.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so, all right, I digress. So, interestingly enough, we're talking about this corona. Obviously, it's the topic of discussion everywhere and anywhere. On Reddit, and take it for what it is, they're saying in Saskatchewan, in Canada, the only level CDC level 4 place there is, in not North America, but in Canada, they've just recently announced on the AMA for the WHO that they have what they're hoping is an antivirus, and it's just being released for testing now.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I mean, don't know what any kind of turnaround. This is just all hopeful thinking as well. So, hopefully, with this, I'm one of the Brooklyn ticket holders. I'm from Jersey, so I've been looking forward to this since this fight was released, and going into it and thinking they might not let media in, or we're only going to be having to watch it online. I don't even know how I'm going to get all the money and planning I put back into this. So I'm looking at it strictly from a UFC perspective. I don't know if you guys are ticket holders. I know you're in the area.
Well,
this match has been, we've been waiting for this match for years.
This is a big fight. Now, when you bought the tickets, the fact that this fight has fell through so many times, were you a little nervous about buying these tickets?
Oh, yeah, of course, without a doubt.
Now, with this situation, I mean, listen, if this thing gets moved, it's going to be easy to get the money back. But at the same time, people plan, like, you're in Jersey, did you plan for a hotel in Brooklyn, or were you driving in and then driving back? What were your plans for this event?
I got a friend in Manhattan,
Okay.
so I'd be staying with him. He's going with me. So, and I say that optimistically.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to wait until the last second here and just say, hey, listen, we're going to ride this thing out. I'm not going to panic. I'm just going to let this thing pass, and hopefully the event goes as planned?
I've got no choice. I've allocated vacation days to this. I mean, this is your typical mancation. You know what I mean? So I've been planning for this since the date was released.
Oh, man. Listen, I hope this fight should happen in Brooklyn. There's no other place I would like to see this fight happen. It would be booming over there. It would be fantastic. I mean, this is a spectacle event. I think it deserves to be in New York. And it would be a shame. It would be a shame if this thing was in front of a crowd of nobody in a small building. It would be a complete mess, a disaster, I think.
Right. I mean, like I said, right now it's just wishful thinking.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that, man. I hope everything works out for you.
Yeah, by the way, your guys' last two shows for your major events were fire.
Nice.
I love the endings. I love the arguing back and forth. I loved it. Keep up the good work,
That's what we do best. Yell at each other.
Hell yeah. You got a good, faithful bunch of listeners here, so keep it up.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's a good call. Look at that.
What an awesome
I want this to happen in Brooklyn, right? This is where it should be.
Yeah.
This is where it should be. I mean, think about the Russian community that in Brooklyn. I mean, they will be loud as fuck. And then you got the anti-Russian community over there with the Tony fans going crazy. It's just going to be so much fun. The juice, the electricity. it would be, I mean, as much as I, selfishly say, hey, I'm not going to go to the events because we're going to stream here, right? As much as we say that, you need a juiced up crowd, man. That's what it's all about. It's like the gladiator days. You got them inside this cage competing. I'm on this side and you're on that side. They fight for our honor. That's what it's about. And to take that all away and have us sitting here with our Cheetos shoving into our faces, just watching it on TV, I just feel it takes that juice away. The true hardcore fans that want to be in the building and feel that electricity, they should have that opportunity. Fuck you, coronavirus. Right, Jesse? Yeah. 516-522-0267. We got a coronavirus night again, Jesse. 2 in a row. How do you feel about that?
Listen, I have a feeling the next week or so is going to be coronavirus every night. So
hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Lee W. Let's get him in. I saw he tried to get in a couple of times over here. There he is. Lee W.
Lee W.
Casual.
There it is.
Casual.
Yeah, baby. Who would have thought that little cough would have turned into this?
How are you doing tonight?
Wonderful.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm great.
Now, did you get the day working?
Why do you sound so mischievous right now?
I know. He's up to no good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. No, I'm just kind of a bit more aware of where things are going. That coronavirus is definitely real. There's no harm to have extra food supplies, not for a virus, but just it shows you how reliant you are on day-to-day earnings and, I need to get shopping next week, whereas you don't have any backup supply, like what you were saying the other night with your storm and stuff. So it shows you how reliant we really are on the government and just everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling Moss today because sometimes we do like all of our non-perishables through Amazon Prime Pantry, and I went there today because it's about the time for me to go grocery shopping, and nothing is in stock on Amazon. And I was like, what is going on? And I was like, all right, we got to go to the store to get both perishables and non-perishables. And I go there, and the shelves are getting wiped out. And I swear to God, when I was there, it wasn't like people were on a normal shopping day. They went there, and they were literally rushing to the shelves to get stuff. It was the most bizarre thing I had ever seen. I can honestly say I've never witnessed it before.
It's the same here. I noticed it about a week and a half when we were going shop, and it was literally just to get a few things. Like one bag is what I walked out with. And looking at the shelves, I noticed there was only maybe 2 or 3 rows back of stuff, and all the low, everything was low. There was still it was looking like there was everything, but when you actually go, move that out of the way, there was a lot less. But the government also have a plan for pandemics and wars, and they take it in different stages as well, where they have 6 stages, where the first one is it's brought up but it's passed. The next one is they talk about it but ignore it and say, it's fine.
Yeah.
Then they go, well, there's some cases, but it's only the regular flu. So then more people talk about it. Then the next one after that is people everywhere are talking about it, panic, the buy-in and stuff. This is what we're in now, and travel is restricted. The sporting is a kind of a new one. But it's just to kind of shut you down. The one after that would be you can't go to your jobs. The schools are already, so that would kind of count as this one. So then people haven't got money, so they can't even pay mortgages and stock up on essentials, even if it's not food, just general buying petrol or stuff like that. And then after that is basically you're in quarantine and you can't get out. So when I was saying, you should have just spare stuff around, it's because when 80% of people think something, then everyone does it. And even if you don't believe in the virus, if you don't go out and buy stuff just in case, the 80% that are panicking will buy it. And then when you need to get stuff, you just won't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's only so much supply at one time,
Yeah, that's the problem. I think people go to extremes. It's about staying in the middle and being logical. Yes, you should be aware of this. You should panic. I mean, this is scary, but at the same time, be rational. Get what you need. Let the other person get what they need. That's that. God forbid this thing became zombie apocalypse-like, where shit really hit the fan and people are just running in the streets. Corona! They all turn it into bottles of beer and just stabbing people with their beer heads, and everyone's going crazy, and people are hoarding and trying to get looting and getting all their stuff into their homes, in their carts, in their cars, and swerving into babies and shit like that. Like,
well, exactly what you said there, except for the overhyped part of it. When things get looted and stuff like that, shops don't get resupplied because they don't have the funds or security to actually cover it. And then that's why the last stage of you can't go out is brought in, because everyone does loot. Because if you don't have money but you're hungry, it's, well, I'm going to get this, or you have to get from point A to point B or stuff like that. So I wouldn't be a prepper or anything like that, like, not at all.
If you go into the grocery store now and you're seeing craziness, could you imagine if it was worse? Right? That's the thing. And that's what's scary.
Well, did you hear what happened in Italy?
No, I mean, they're fucked. That's crazy.
Yeah, but what actually happened in the cities, though, I think 3 cities blocked down. But within a few days, everything was just gone. And because they were under quarantine, that basically means that you can't anything in or out, so resupplying is very difficult. Now, I know they have people where they transfer drivers and they do all this kind of crazy stuff, but that limits the supply a good bit. Like, so if you don't have some stuff at that stage, you're pretty fucked. So,
oh my god, that's crazy.
I agree with the UFC thing. It's not looking good, especially in New York. I think in Vegas they're kind of like, come on, we're doing it. We've been waiting. But New York, they're a little bit more what's the word? I can't think of the word. I was watching a football match though the other day, and there was 2 matches on at the same time. One was behind closed doors and the other one wasn't. And the difference, like the one behind, it's just ridiculous. Like one had 60,000 people, the other had 500 or something.
And did you notice a difference in the actual game? Did you notice like the players reacted a little differently? It was kind of like a little lackluster, or did it seem the same?
You could hear the players shouting, and you can hear the managers doing tactics, and you can just hear like so many things that you just don't know, and you can nearly hear what the ref is saying. It's so strange. I don't like it at all. But yeah, I tend to. I don't want to be a pessimist or anything like that. But it's not going in 30 days. I can guarantee you that. And I think the greatest depression is coming. That has been warned, because the coronavirus is the pin, but all the debt has to be paid back, and if people aren't working, the debt is still there. So
yeah. 100%. Yeah. Scary.
But I just wanted to throw, because I had a couple of things written down and then I rambled.
A lot of valuable information in there.
There you go. Well, thanks for the call, Lee. Appreciate it.
Hope you do well.
All right. You too, man. That's Lee W from Ireland calling in. From Ireland, for God's sakes. So we got a donation to play over here. We'll play it in a second. We were at Triton Fights, and shout out to Triton Fights. They have an event in April, and hopefully this all calms down and they can have their event at I think it's at the Space at Westbury or the Paramount. We got to find out. But we had the pleasure of doing Triton Fights, the preliminaries, and there was one time right before it started to fill up over there. It was just me and Jesse. We were doing the play-by-play, and we could hear ourselves talking while the fighters are going on. Like, there wasn't many people in the building at the time, and it was very distracting. It was really weird. Like, we were kind of talking low because we didn't want to be shouting, but at the same time, we heard it back, and we were like, holy shit, it sounded like shit. Joe Rogan.
I have a feeling they're going to fall into the same trap, yeah.
And John Anik. Those guys screaming with no one in there, it's going to be weird. It's really going. And how about Bruce Buffer? Is he going to be there? Is he going to be announcing? Will he be as crazy with his announcing with no one in the building? Like, I can't even imagine what that's going to look like. Bruce Buffer jumping in the middle of that cage. It's time! And then nothing. Like, nothing in the background. That's going to be so weird. What if do you think the UFC will pipe in sound? Do you think they'll pipe in a crowd sound?
I think that would be a little weird because there's visibly nobody there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wonder how that's going to work. Old TV shows, sitcoms had a studio audience, and then they had a fake canned laughter that they would play. Maybe the UFC is going to have canned screaming. I don't know. Let's get into this donation over here.
Man, you better back up or you're going to go to sleep. Man, you need to back up or you can go to sleep too.
JBH is a very beautiful woman. Moss, will you be able to stay away if she contracts the virus? Anyway, if there is no UFC, you guys can still broadcast on various news topics.
Hell yeah.
The Holes community will always support and listen.
Damn straight. Yeah, we'll bring the news. I don't know. I just hope. Thank you, Ride Drive. I really hope that this thing gets cleaned up quickly. I want all my sports back, not just the UFC. I want everything back. All forms of entertainment.
Yeah.
This sucks. This just sucks. Look at the Contender Series. Like we were talking about the quietness. When the Contender Series happens and there's no Bruce Buffer, you could hear the ref and you hear the fighters
Man, you better back
crashing
up.
into each other. It's
Sleep.
weird,
Man,
right?
You need to back up or you can go to sleep too.
Them niggas are going run it basically like the Contender Series. I don't think it'll be as bad as it seems now.
Mm-hmm. Will Bruce Buffer be there? Will there be screaming and yelling and, it's time and all that shit? What do you think, Jess? Will they have Bruce Buffer? I mean, he's got to be there,
yeah,
right?
of course, yeah.
Will it work, though, his yelling and no one to react?
No, we all know this. It's going to be weird. The whole situation is going to be weird. So there's no really any questions to ask. It's just going to be fucking weird. We're just going to have to deal with it. The good thing for us is we don't listen to it when we react.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to have to endure the awkwardness. But everybody else,
More of a reason to tune into the MMA-Holes, right?
Unknown caller, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Everybody repent of your sins. The end is here.
I don't know what just happened.
Do you think that's what it is? Do you think the end is near, Jesse? You think that we're going to be judged? Is it Judgment Day?
Oh, man. There's got to be a few more things that happen before Judgment Day.
Hmm.
But this could very well be the first sign. This could be like the plague, and then they force vaccines on us, which is the mark. Everybody gets a mark when we approach that time, the end of times.
I feel like we're in the Brady Bunch right now with these screens.
832, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Hello, my name is Jared, questionnaire.
Hey.
My question is, what if the coronavirus is absolutely fucking fake?
That's a good question. What if it is?
And what if, when you take the vaccine, you fucking die?
Oh, my God. That would be horrible. All right. There we go.
All right.
That was my favorite call of the night. 516-522-0267. You imagine there's no virus. They just want to kill us. And they're just going to give us a vaccine. I was shocked when I saw the NBA. They had another player on the Jazz.
614, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Hey, it's something funny.
Hey, what's up? Something funny?
First time caller. I've been screwing around on chat for a long time.
Yeah, I've seen you.
Man. What's going on?
So my question is this: if they end up having this fight in this private underground dungeon in Vegas, no crowd at all, the Tony Ferguson Khabib fight, who does that benefit, Tony or Khabib?
Who does that benefit? That is a great question. Who would that be? I got to think about this. Jess, do you have an answer
Khabib.
for that? You think it benefits Khabib?
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Well, I think Khabib always gets the benefit.
Khabib is unrattled in any situation, though.
True. Oh, yeah, true. So maybe Tony, because Tony's going to be all up in his headspace.
They'll be able to hear their coaches better. Who would that benefit?
Ah, yes, that too.
I think
Probably Tony.
I think it would benefit Tony. Yeah.
Yep. Tony.
What do you think?
I agree. I'm a big Tony fan. I think Tony's going to foil everybody's plans, but I'm starting to think the fight's not going to happen anyways. Just like it's been cursed from the beginning.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We shall see. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. That's all we could do, right?
I hope so.
All right. Something funny. Thank you for the call.
You guys have a good one. Stay healthy.
You too.
You too.
There he is. I think it's a good question. Like, right off the top of my head, I would have to go with Khabib. I mean, Tony, excuse me. Because Khabib, there's, whether you're booing him, whether you're cheering him, the guy he's so focused. But hearing game plans and stuff like that, I mean, what is Khabib's game plan? He's going to take him down, and he's going to fucking ground and pound him. He's going to try to choke him out. He's going to grind him. That's what he's going to do. Tony's got a million things coming at him, so maybe, who knows? I still think you would favor Tony, yeah. That's a great fight. I just think it needs to happen in front of a crowd. Any other fight could happen in the Apex. I don't care. But that fight, imagine having tickets to that thing, like the gentleman that called before.
I could.
You have tickets for that, and now this is gonna happen. It's crazy. It's cursed. It's Fook and Curse. All right, Jess, we'll take him to 9:30. How's that sound? It's 9:19 right now. We'll take him to 9:30. Get your calls in nice and quick as we appreciate your company crashing on JBH's, I was going to say Fight Buddies, Fight Briefing.
Unknown caller, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Hey, this is Daniel from Tennessee.
What's up, Daniel?
Yeah, I'd just like to warn issues about, there's a very age-specific, it targets older people more than younger, the disease, if you can agree.
Mm-hmm. No, older people, you said?
No, there's a 27-year-old who Lee W. just mentioned was, this Justin Jr. guy.
Oh, yeah,
just
that kid.
mentioned.
Yeah.
That has the coronavirus, right,
Yes,
Justin?
Yes.
Yeah.
I tried, man.
You can't disguise your voice.
That was a good shot. All right. Okay, thank you.
This is Daniel.
And then you better back up, you gotta go to sleep. And then you need to back up and you can go to sleep too.
Oh, God.
Bellator will be going on closed to the public, but they're used to that. So for them, nothing has changed.
Yeah, a bunch of people say. By the way, Nick Newell got bumped up to the main card. So shout out to Nick Newell, Justin Sumter, fighting tomorrow night. We'll do a live Fight Buddies and see how weird it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the prelims, it's pretty much a ghost town in Bellator. So that's true. That's true. Thank you, Manny C, for the donation. You are wonderful. Wonderful. We got a Kainodo donation coming in over here as we are taking you 9 more minutes on the show. Make sure you give us your thoughts as you call in and be wonderful. 5 more likes,
you better back up, you're going to go to sleep. And then you need to back up and you can go to sleep too.
Here's Kainodo.
I wasn't too worried about the virus talk until Disneyland closed its doors. For a big corporation like that to place public safety above revenue, that shit is scary.
Yeah.
It's not just them closing shop, it's all major billion-dollar companies.
Man.
Very worrisome.
Like the trickle-down effect of these things that are happening. Disney World's closing, these sporting events, not showcasing their teams and concerts being canceled and whatever is going on in the stock market. I haven't even seen I'm assuming
it dropped. It did drop. In fact, I was just listening to one of our streamers who were talking about it. It did drop. I don't know the numbers, but it has dropped.
Everything is affected, and there's going to be this snowball, effect right now. And how could you not be a little nervous? It's really crazy. So hopefully someone figures out what's going on. How do you get a vaccine for this? How do you just kind of slow this process down? And this will just be the next thing, the next story that we tell down the road. Like, oh, remember that? That was weird. Anyway, let's open up the phone lines. 516-522-0267. Get your quick thoughts in on the MMA Holes. And thank you for joining us. Make sure you smash the like. And if you're not subscribed, give us a sub because we'll be doing Fight Buddies tomorrow and on Saturday. So Fook off Fight Buddies and the Fight Buddies on Saturday reacting to everything. Hell yeah. NH. What up, NH? Welcome.
Hey.
What's going on?
How you doing, Jesse? Hi, Chris.
What's up, man?
How are you?
Wonderful.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm hanging in there.
So what's going on now? I hear Oregon is not doing too good. Like everywhere, it's not doing too good. But what's going on in Oregon?
24 cases so far.
24 cases. Damn. Not good. So what are you doing to prepare for this?
Well, I still got to leave the house to go grocery shopping. I'm just going to do what everybody's doing. Just washing my hands, have the hand sanitizer, use those wipes in the cart. And, yeah.
Have you had any issues finding things?
Have I what?
Had any issues finding things?
Not the other night when I was there, but I'll try again tonight and see what happens. Ever since the speech, though, there might be less.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was on last night. We found it after the stream.
Yeah, I caught it. Yeah, so did I later. And our governor closed down 250. Anything above that, you can't have any events.
Oh, man.
So if you have more so I'm not sure about the UFC for Portland, but she said for 4 weeks. So I don't know if that'll go on or not.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It might be what you said back in Vegas.
Man, yeah, you got that's. Well, Portland is which one is that event? Who's
It's a
headlining
fight
that?
night.
Is that Rosenstruik?
Yeah, it's
or?
a fight night.
Yeah, maybe I think. Let me check.
Is it Overeem?
Yeah, isn't. Hold on. Oh, Harris. Walt Harris versus Overeem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty much guaranteed to be in Vegas. Yeah, I mean, there's no question about that. What is that? April 11th. Yeah, I would put money on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully that's not the case.
I'm
But
glad I didn't buy tickets now.
yeah, it's crazy. Well, I tell you what, maybe you'll get tickets real cheap if if people start panicking, you know, get them like for dirt cheap.
Well, I'm trying not to be paranoid, like you said. I'm just doing what they said. You know, if you're not, you don't have to be out. Then don't go out. Which, you know, hey, if I don't have to be out, I'm not going to go out.
Yeah.
But you know, we still went there to the casino. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so tell me about the casinos.
You know, they sent us. Yeah, they are. That is cleaner than I think. I don't think there's anything left for anybody to catch anything.
Yeah.
But like you said, they don't know really, because I guess there's a case, like I said, in Oregon, there's 24. So I guess the one person that caught this, who is still very young, they have no idea where she got it. She didn't come in contact with anybody. So they're thinking community, you know, like you said. So out and about. That's what's weird about it too. You just don't know.
Yeah, yeah. My parents love going to Atlantic City, and they had to cancel their plans. And we were getting all these emails from these casinos saying, you know, hey, we're cleaning everything up and this and that. But if you think about it, there are so many people. Those slot machines, I mean, they feel like subway poles, like those slot machines, like the grease and schmutz that gets on them things.
But it's not even just what you touch. This is an airborne virus, so someone just has
Just
to have
being
it.
around people. Yeah, it's true. That's true.
But the thing is the casinos, especially in Atlantic City, there's a lot of older people there who are more susceptible to carrying the virus. So you have a higher chance of getting it. It's not strictly old people who get it. It's just the older demographic is more susceptible. So if they're carrying it and you go to one of those casinos, your chances are much higher of getting it than if you're just to stay home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
And the older we get,
I'm not going to stay locked up.
Yeah, you can't.
Though I can't do that.
Yeah, you can't live life
I gotta
like
get
that.
out, do something. I gotta, you know. I mean, we still gotta do stuff, you know. Hey, unless, you know, I'm just being like they said, just being aware, and hey, just have the stuff on hand if I happen to have to be quarantining myself. Hey, you know, what can I say?
Just more
We still
sex,
have enough
man.
food.
Just more sex.
A fatty like me can survive.
That's right.
I can go days without food.
Yeah, man. Oh man, it's.
Hey, I had to get funny stuff out there, you know. Hey, try to get, laugh out of little. Everything's being so serious, but.
What could you do, right? I mean, what are we gonna do? We'll cry and be like, "Oh my God, it's the end of the world." You can't. You gotta be aware of your surroundings, but have a good time, enjoy life. That's what it's all about. Just have some fun, you know. Sex, lots of sex, Ann.
Yes, that is yes. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's it.
on my picks. Get off the subject now. No, I do not want Lee to win. I want Oliveira by submission.
So you're rooting, or are you picking?
And I think I'm picking Oliveira, and I'm picking Maia to win by submission too.
Okay.
Ooh, Renato. I think I got Renato too.
All
And I
right.
definitely got Walker by KO.
That's fair.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Jesse, who'd you pick?
Who else
Did
is
you pick
on there?
Walker?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Jesse
chose
loves that Walker. Knockout, Jess?
I do too. I like
Ooh,
Walker.
Yeah. That's
I
right.
think, like she said, you know, people kind of got figured out, so maybe he's going to calm down a little bit. You know, he's still going to do his thing, but, you know, maybe his head just got too big. You know what I mean? Hey, look at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he might have
And he
needed
just took
that.
it for granted.
Yeah, he might have needed a reality check. You know, now he can not be as reckless. You know, he can still be exciting, but be careful at the same time, not be too cray-cray.
Yeah.
But he
That's
is
for
exciting.
sure.
He is a very exciting fighter. I'm curious to see how he bounces back from that fight for sure.
Was there only 4 in the main card? Sorry.
There's
think
one
so,
more.
right?
Hold on. It was
Trinaldo.
the Trinaldo fight. Yeah. Hold on a second.
Oh.
And Makdessi.
Makdessi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesse. I got Trinaldo. There we go. Sorry.
You better back up.
Oh,
You
hold
can
on.
go
We
to
got a
sleep.
donation
Now
coming
you
in.
need to back up, or you can go to sleep too.
Here's Vlad.
It's times like this that I'm glad my place of work isn't open to the public. Went groceries shopping and they had sanitizer wipes at the door. That's going to do a lot of help when you pay debit and touch the number pad up to 100s of people.
Right? That's what we were talking about too. You're signing for the credit card, and it's like, oh, I gotta touch his pen.
I'm just using the hand sanitizer like crazy. Every time I was in there, I was just using it squirt. Touch
Yeah.
the thing squirt.
It's nuts.
That's all you can do. What are you gonna do? I have to go get stuff, you know. Hey, my dog's already got their dog food. Got that.
But as long as the dogs are all right, that's all that matters, right?
That's right. The dogs and the cats.
Yeah,
Got to make sure they got their food.
that's right. Keep them fed, and keep Mike fed as well, Ann.
Yeah, his work is still fine. So
Good. Well, Ann, thank you for the call. Enjoy the fights, even though they're going to be in a nice romantic setting. I want you to enjoy those fights.
okay.
All right. Have a great
Love
night.
you guys. Take
Love you.
care.
Ann.
Is Ann H calling in? Ann H, Jesse, what do you think about that call?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Brazilian American.
You come to Catskill Mountains farm food, no people.
All right. So Catskills. All right. Let's go there.
Catskill Mountain.
I don't know how the hell we're going to get to Arizona. Like, think about that, Jess. I keep thinking about it. So I spoke to my friend who is a cop, and he was saying that hopefully, you know, the way this is going, if it keeps going in this direction, they're going to have to shut down the highways. How does that work?
Because what they want to do is start to ban forms of travel to contain it in certain areas and prevent it from spreading. Which is theoretically
You're gonna go to
smart.
sleep. Now you need to back up, or you can go to sleep too.
Yeah, it's from a pretty reliable source, so I'm like, oh, fuck.
Suggestion for the wheel. It's the end of the world as we know it.
Yeah,
Smiley face.
that's a good
Next
one.
case is X2 or treble cause. Remember, not everyone who has it has been tested, so don't worry that it's gone up again. It's only a matter of more results coming back.
Yeah. The end of the world. It's the end of the world as we know
Moss
it.
is practicing.
You know, that song does have a very rapid speech part in there, which would be pretty funny. So maybe we'll throw that on there. What do you think? Thank you to the donators. We really appreciate it. We weren't looking for that tonight. We just want to open up the phone lines and hear your voices. And the fact that the people have just showered us with gifts is wonderful, wonderful. On these hard times. For once, fight
I'm
fan.
a fan of Overeem, but enough is enough. I don't want to see him in the news because of CTE-related issues.
It could happen again. Walt Harris is you know, after his poor, what happened with his poor daughter, it could definitely happen again. What do you think, Jesse, in this fight? Do you have a bad feeling for Overeem? You think he bounces back off that last-second loss?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know, Moss.
All right. Well, you want to take one more call, Jess? What do you say? No, you done? You had enough?
Had enough. This
Shit.
has gone longer than fight briefing is supposed to go.
Okay.
And I really have to pee.
No, all right, fine then. Let's beat the ceiling, and thank you for joining us tonight. As we have 100 likes, let's, where is it?
I don't have it on there. It's not showing, Moss.
Where is it?
Try again.
Where is it? Why is it not here?
Let's just do the song. It has a song, right? So do the song. Oh, there it is.
Watching fights. Fists so tight. MMA-Holes.
Pump them lights.
100 likes. Watching fights.
Fists so tight.
MMA-Holes.
Pump them lights.
100 likes. Watching fights.
Fists so tight.
MMA-Holes.
Pump them lights.
100 likes. Watching fights.
Fists so tight.
MMA-Holes.
Pump them lights.
The dislikes can choke on a carrot.
I hope the coronavirus chokes on a carrot, Jesse. All right.
Jeez,
Thank you for joining us, friends.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. We'll let Jesse finish this show up because this is fight briefing.
No, just finish it up. Here.
I was going to walk away. This is your show.
No. I have to pee, so let's just finish it up.
But
You've
what do
got
I
control.
hit to end this thing?
This is normal. Don't be an a-hole.
Fiasco.
Yeah.
Did I hit the end one? All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow for Food Car Friday. We're playing the points game, and we're doing a Fight Buddy. So we might be on early tomorrow. What time does Bellator start?
I'll find out and let you guys know.
She's got to pee.
All right. What are you doing?
That's the points game right there. That's what we'll be. This is where we'll be tomorrow. In case you were wondering.
Yeah. Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA hole.